So we can actually start with a talk while we're still expecting the chairman. So the first person, because time has been fast spent, so I will indulge the crave indulgence for all the speakers today to please try as much as possible to keep it very concise, brief, and sharp so that we can make use of the good time. But to do an introduction, which is an opening remark, and that I'm going to call on Dr. Valerie Mbongo, our secretary, to do that. Put your hands together, please.
Unfortunately, the chairman hasn't arrived yet, but all protocols observed. So thank you all for coming this evening. And I know we are all here for a single reason, one single reason. And that reason is to see Nigeria work again. And I'm sure that is the only reason why we are here, and that's the reason why I am here. And as you can see, I actually have an injury. I should be, at home resting, but of course, I can't. There's too much to be done. We need to rescue Nigeria. And I think that this is the only vehicle that can do that. And so I'm just here to give a brief introduction, talk a little bit about the Labour Party, talk about what the Labour Party is about, what the Labour Party hopes to achieve, and how the Labour Party hopes to rescue Nigeria. And I keep using that word, rescue, because Nigeria needs to be rescued, definitely. And we know that ours is a long-awaited movement to bring forth and birth a new Nigeria under the auspices of the Labour Party. The Labour Party is a social democratic party in Nigeria. It was created in 2002, and it was previously known as the Party for Social Democracy before it was changed. The name was changed in 2003 to the Labour Party as we know it today. Built on the ideology of social democracy, the aim of the party is to promote and defend social democratic principles and ideals for the sole purpose of achieving social justice, progress, and unity. You will all agree with me that we have watched and witnessed Nigeria fall from grace and glory into a society where tribalism, religious intolerance, crime, banditry, kidnapping, poverty, sickness, and disease are rife. Hyperinflation, high levels of unemployment, low standard of living, and almost a zero balance of payment plague our economic space. All this as a consequence of bad leadership, poor governance, and a failed government. We also all agree that Nigeria must be saved and that Nigeria can be saved. The Labour Party, under the leadership of our principal, Peter Obi, and his deputy, Dr. Dati Yusuf, will, through effective leadership, turn Nigeria around. The Labour Party, by effectively building bridges and resolving conflict, will secure and unite the people of Nigeria. Like our old national anthem did say, though tribes and tongues may differ, in unity we will stand. Every Nigerian will be given equal opportunity, irrespective of tribe, religion, or political affiliation. A Nigeria built on meritocracy rather than patronage or on which governor you know. A Nigeria where we are all our brother's keeper, embracing our diverse and rich cultures and living in peace with all. The Labour Party will create effective institutional and legal reforms where the rule of law is upheld, rather than a society where the law is used to oppress the citizens. The Labour Party will focus on production-centered growth for food security, moving from consumption to production, leapfrogging Nigeria from oil dependency into the fourth industrial revolution. The Labour Party will focus on human capital development for effective competitiveness by creating an enabling environment through the creation of jobs and full employment for our people. The Labour Party will expand our physical infrastructure through market-driven reforms, creating a Nigeria with low levels of inflation, allowing individuals and small businesses to thrive. Exports of goods and services will be encouraged, thereby expanding the economy and thus creating a better standard of living for our people and achieving a healthy balance of payment. A Nigeria with low levels of crime will be achieved because our people are enabled and encouraged to be the best that they can be. A Nigeria where simple and basic human needs like clean water, a good and functional healthcare system, a good and functional education system, good roads and transport networks, electricity and welfare system for the elderly and infirmed are met. A Nigeria where our mentally challenged and disabled persons are not left on the street or tied up in churches simply because they are seen as taboos in our society. Finally, the Labour Party will create a robust foreign policy that will restore Nigeria into strategic relevance in the international community, where our natural resources and a populace of about 2 million people becomes a powerful negotiating tool and force to reckon with in the international arena. Distinguished guests, comrades, ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt that the only party that has the know-how, the capacity, the ability, the political will to deliver Nigeria from the hands of our enemies, both within and without, is the Labour Party, under the leadership of Peter Obi and Dr. Yusuf Datti. It is with this vision that the Nigerian Labour Party UK chapter was created to offer support from us in the diaspora to the Nigerian Labour Party in Nigeria. The UK chapter will act and will exist more as an information hub, a one-stop shop where everything Labour Party is filtered from Nigeria to the diasporans and also from the diasporans to Nigeria. So we are all speaking one mind. We all have the same information. We have a good structure. That is the role of the Labour Party UK. And I thank you all for coming to this inauguration. And we hope that you will all join hands with us in the diaspora and make sure that we win the next election, that come 2023, Peter Obi and Yusuf Datti become the leaders in Nigeria. And so to this end, I say, Viva Labour Party! Viva Labour Party! Viva Labour Party! Long live Labour Party Nigeria. Long live the new Nigeria. Together, we will win 2023. Together, we will take Nigeria back. Thank you very much.
Okay. So I'll call again on the secretary to give us a closing remark, and then we all can have a photo session with the chairman.
Just want to say thank you so much, Honorable Chairman. Thank you, distinguished guests, ladies, gentlemen. It's been the most amazing of evenings. Very educating, very informative, very engaging. And I'm sure it has left each and every one of us with something to take away and to think about. Before I joined the Labour Party, in fact, I wasn't interested in Nigerian politics at all because there was no choice for me. I couldn't think about APC ruling or PDP ruling that country again. And it wasn't until one day I listened to Peter Obi speak. and it was like somebody was echoing my mind. I could identify with what he had to say. It was like somebody was reading my mind and somebody was reading the minds of my little kids at home. Just like Honorable Kate said, I became afraid to go home. I couldn't take my children home for fear of being kidnapped, for fear of being killed in a home that I was raised. And for the sake of ourselves, not just ourselves, for the sake of our children, for the sake of future generation, for the sake of those that we have left back home, for the sake of the poor, for the sake of the needy, for the sake of the disabled, for the sake of the mentally impaired, for the sake of those that have no voice. We cannot sit here and say, what can Nigeria do for us anymore? We must say, what can we do for Nigeria? I have a dream. Like he said, I have a dream. Like I said at the beginning, I could have been in my bed tonight because I have an injury, but I have a dream. That dream is bigger than myself. That dream is bigger than each and every one of us in this room. That dream is even bigger than Labour Party. But it is going to take each and every one of us taking our place to bring that dream about. Every skill, every talent, every man, every woman, every boy, every girl, every child must know where they come from. Must know that Nigeria was once a place that we were proud of. That Nigeria was once a place that paid for other countries. I remember when I came into this country, nobody asked me a question about my identity because I came from a nation that people could reckon with. But now, try walking on the streets. The police would ask you for your passports just to identify you. Or the moment you say your name is a Nigerian name, you are a suspect. In the diaspora, that is our experience. And why? Simply because pure bad leadership, failed government, have forced our young people into criminality. Hunger, poverty has been used as a weapon to oppress and suppress our people. And we can't sit here in the diaspora enjoying another man's country, even though we have contributed. I built this country. We have contributed. But it's time we look to home. It's time we think about home. It's time we think about our people. It's time we stand up and be counted. Without that, the Labour Party is nothing without us. We can have all the positions we want, doesn't translate into life. It doesn't save one human being. And if your reason for being part of Labour Party is so that you have a position, you're in the wrong place. I must say that. The Labour Party, like I said earlier, founded on the principles of social democracy, where humanity, values, integrity is utmost. The Labour Party is a party not just of the working class, but of the rich, of the bourgeoisie, for a change, because it is the very bourgeoisie that is going to make that difference. Because we all believe in one thing, and we all have one goal. And so at that point, I'm going to say, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for spending time to listen to us. Thank you for being part of this movement. Thank you for having a heart for our country. Thank you, and may God bless you. May you have a safe journey back home. Thank you. Thank you, Honorable. Thank you.
Labour Party is a home. Labour Party